So as I was writing the script for the video about the superpower for Christian managers, I learned about this story about something that happened in my neighborhood. Now, there's this street that I have to take every day that leads from the freeway to my house. And I've driven down this road hundreds of times maybe, and I've lived here for several years, but there was one day that I decided to walk that same street. And if you look at the street, it has an interesting curve. It's enough of a curve, like a really wide arc, that if you were on autopilot or something like that, it wouldn't work on a street like this. You would need to have your hands on the wheel to negotiate this wide of a turn. And it was just enough so that you'd really have to be paying attention, but not sharp enough to where you'd be worried about driving down this street. And so it's just this very easy turn. And I was walking down that, there's only one sidewalk between this street and the freeway on the other side. And I was walking down with my notebook, and I noticed a bench right in the middle of this stretch of street that I didn't notice before. And I saw that it was dedicated to a lady who passed in 2008. And it was dedicated to a beloved mother, wife, sister, and daughter. And what I learned was that this mother and her 15-year-old son were riding their bikes down this very easy road, seemingly safe, on a Sunday afternoon, 4 p.m., middle of the afternoon, on a sunny day, normal Southern California sunny day, when, as they were biking down this road, a truck comes down the road and somehow loses control and hits the mother from behind. And so this bench that I happened to pass by was dedicated to this mother who, on this random day, on this innocuous street, safe street, on a safe day, just happened to lose her life, and a son lost his mom, and a husband lost his wife. And aside from the fact of the tragedy, aside from me as a father being affected and husband being affected by this story, there's something that stuck out to me when I was thinking about leadership. And when I was thinking about it, what I think was sticky to me was this idea that how many times in life, or as we go about our business, do we drive down roads or go down a certain path of behavior where you can go on autopilot? It can be something that it doesn't take a lot of your energy and effort and talent and skill to negotiate going down this road or completing this task. So you kick into autopilot. But how dangerous could that be? That what if those regular everyday decisions that we make and regular everyday behaviors, what if we just let loose just enough so that we fly off the sidewalk, fly off the road, and cause somebody that kind of a tragedy? Even though in this case, it was a very tragic loss of life, I think what it brought to mind to me was just the everyday experience of people at work and doing your job, trying to get by, riding your bike down an innocuous sidewalk. How a leader with their hands confidently on the wheel might just lift up their eyes or look down for just a second and think this is an easy road to navigate. And then just with one slip of a finger or a thumb, a hand, how that little decision can lead you to flying off the road and causing someone a tragedy. One of the details that I learned about this story that really stuck with me too was that the husband actually worked for the police department in one of the local cities. And the husband, remembering his experience as a police officer and how he would pull people over for traffic violations, drunk driving, he would often be lenient, be merciful, kind, the things that you would want if you were in that situation, I think. And how that experience changed him, how he decided from that point on, whenever he saw somebody driving recklessly, that he wasn't going to let them off the hook so easily. He was going to bring them in. And I thought about the work that I do. I thought about the work that we do as leaders, as middle leaders, that, how often do we see behavior in our organizations or our work where, yeah, maybe we accept it, maybe we allow it, maybe we tolerate it. But how often when we tolerate those things might that lead into somebody else's tragedy? And so I was thinking about that for myself, that if I'm truly somebody who wants to help educate a new kind of leader in the world, that there has to be a line drawn somewhere, right? That we shouldn't tolerate letting ourselves off the hook for decisions we think are easy. But what's that balance? It's not like we can drive with our hands gripping the wheel tightly everywhere we go. There has to be some slack. So where's the balance? So I don't know what to do about that. I don't know if it's more control. I don't know if it's more trust. But that story just keeps coming back to me about what it must have been like just to go down a road that you think is safe, that you trust other people to make the right decision. You trust other people to not take things so lightly that they get careless. And then I think of it from the perspective of the husband and the dad too, about, yes, we get to be kind, and sometimes it's hard to be kind, and it's hard to be lenient and to let people off the hook sometimes. But we have to know when to be strong, don't we? We have to know when not to let ourselves off the hook. I think that's why the story is just sticky to me when it comes to leadership and management, is that it's easy to say that there's always a right and wrong or a way to navigate hard roads and big challenges. But what puts us in check when it's just a regular everyday thing, when it's just a normal day? How do we keep in touch with how important those small decisions can be to someone's life sometimes?